Trey and Bill reporting live from South Florida. I really feel like we're gonna talk about all that later, Lord willing. This is the weekly wrap up, man. If you're new here, we traverse our great country to see what our government has been up to, specifically in their relationship with innocent and liberated Americans. So let's just do that.
But first, we begin tonight with the 7 investigators revealing why dozens of Detroit police officers were pulled off the street. Thank you so much for joining us for 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. It's an embarrassing discovery that has affected at least 30 officers who were found to have been working without active law enforcement licenses. And it includes some who handle homicides and sex crimes.
And it has DPD scrambling to get the officers back to work.
Here's 7 investigator Ross Jones revealing what went wrong and how long it might take to fix.
We've made a mistake, and we're trying to figure out where the mistake was made.
Tonight, 30 Detroit police officers have been taken off the street after the department discovered they were working without active law enforcement licenses.
As of this morning, their guns and badges were taken from them, and they will be in administrative duty until we get this cleared up, hopefully as soon as possible.
DPD first got wind there was a problem about 2 months ago when they discovered one of their officers didn't have an active license with the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, or MCOLS. That triggered a broader audit that found 3 more officers with lapsed or inactive licenses that has now ballooned to 30.
That is a big problem. We're working through the list. We're trying to figure out what's needed, where we need to get the documentation necessary.
The problem right now appears to be traced back to the Human Resources or Recruiting Divisions. Ricardo Moore is a Detroit Police Commissioner.
It was very shocking. I think that our personnel director needs to answer a couple questions to the board.
The officers taken off the street are from all across the department, from homicide to road patrol to the Special Victims Unit that investigates child abuse, domestic violence, and sex crimes. The problem appears to only affect officers who previously worked for DPD, left to join another department, and later returned. Before the officers will be returned to active status, MCOL says they need to be subjected to a background check to ensure that while they were away from the department, they didn't encounter any problems.
By all accounts, they're all just outstanding officers. They come to work every single day. They do their job.
Tonight, DPD is still trying to wrap its arms around whether the inactive licenses might cause problems in a courtroom. Right now, they believe that so long as the unlicensed officers were working with a partner whose license was active, any arrests they made would be legal.
We're still on solid grounds there, I believe. But again, we'll let the attorneys figure that one out.
Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy's office was notified just today about the licensing problem. Spokeswoman said it is too early for them to have any comment. MCOLS released a statement late today saying they show 32, not 30 officers who are in limbo here. They say the officers in question were hired between November of 2019 and August of this year, so some have been working for a while without a license. They emphasize that state law prohibits someone with a lapsed or inactive license from exercising law enforcement authority and will review each officer's status on a case-by-case basis once DPD submits the documents that are required by law. So 30 or 32 officers, some in homicide, sex crimes, they got important stuff to be doing. You want to get them on the road soon. And it doesn't sound like this is going to be addressed in a couple of days.
Yeah, sounds like some changes are going to be needed quickly in order for this not to happen again.
Absolutely.
It's surprising that there's not a mechanism to catch this sort of thing.
You certainly wish it would have been caught a lot sooner than today if this has been going on since 2019.
Yeah, but now's the time. Wow.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, man. Her ass pretty as hell. I had to take off my glasses and look closer. This is the same night, man, we were on North Miami Beach, and my ass was in that Scotch whiskey that I got, and that is on fire. If you're new here, man, we usually have one video, and I would give my opinion of the video, and then I would say after the video, I play the video first, and when that's done, I would say if you only wanted to see that, you're free to leave now, because it'll only be me talking. With the weekly wrap-up, we do that 3 times. So your ass can get hell on now. If you don't want to hear me talking, I mean, it's up to you, bro. I'm just letting you know what's going on around here. Tell everybody else what's going on, man. I didn't really know what the hell to say, and then Buddy threw me 2 curveballs in the end. He threw me 2 curveballs in the end. First, he said, I heard you, bro. You said these people was out here impersonating law enforcement officers, family. Because at first it was just like, okay, I hear what's going on. The police being incompetent again. That happens. They gonna spin it, make it seem like they victims of their own actions and inactions, decisions and indecisions. And the public gonna go for it. They gonna sweep it under the rug. And I don't know who the hell the M-Code folks is. They on y'all ad, Detroit police. So all I'm thinking at first is like, yo, if you know anybody in Detroit, tell them like some of their criminal cases, they need to make sure that these cops weren't involved in them, because I'm no criminal and I'm not caping for criminals, especially violent people. But I'm just saying, man, lawful is lawful. So like, make sure these folk got your ass the right way if you're in Detroit. And that's all I really got to say until he gets to the end of the story and he reminds me that these people out here impersonating law enforcement officers, which is a damn crime. Now, I personally am not at all impressed by how many times this assistant chief says these are great cops and every day they come in and do their job. And then that's the second curveball homie threw me, talking about, yo, they work in these specialized departments. We definitely need to get them back out on the streets. And at first I was going to kind of roast your ass about that. But then I'm like, I know there are some Americans who just earnestly feel like that. And how could I be mad at them, bro? Like, that's your opinion, man. And I just, just like there are some of us who earnestly disagree. So it is what it is on that. But that was the two curveballs he threw me, reminding me that they were impersonating law enforcement officers, and then saying that they needed to be back out there. Because at first I was about to grade these motherfuckers at 100, 200% on this video, on their coverage of it, especially considering how beautiful this lady appears to be to me. I'm just like, damn, shorty. But anyway, then he did that shit at the end. So I'm like, all right, bro, that's your opinion, but I do got to grade you on it. So that's a bullshit opinion. So you can't get that 200%. But it still was great coverage. What I will say is this right here, man. As far as, and the other journalist touched on it when he said, I'm surprised there was no mechanism in place to catch that. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure on their damn law enforcement license there's an expiration date. Man, it is amazing how incompetent police are, and then the Johnnies, they always get celebrated like they're these infallible heroes. I've never been a police. I've never been a Johnny, so I never got a Johnny certification. But it's hard for me to believe that motherfucker don't come with some type of expiration date that they ass need to be aware of too. So the bottom line is, no matter who in the system made a mistake, like the dude said, the commissioner said, somebody need to answer the question. But listen, fam, I'm in America. I'm a law-abiding citizen. We supposed to be incarcerating criminals and impersonating law enforcement officers. I don't give a damn why your ass was doing it. Fam, they had supposed to be locked up, and I know I'm laughing because it's just ironic how incompetent they are and how they get away with it. But fam, on the real, man, they ain't supposed to be locked up. Detroit, what up, though, man? Y'all better tell your people to check their jacket, man, and make sure everything legit. We got some rogue-ass impersonating law enforcement people out here, man. And they up there where y'all at. Let's see what else going on in America, man. These folk funny as hell.
New video released this afternoon of a crash that happened in October as a driver fled police. That driver survived, but his passenger was ejected from the car and killed. The Civilian Office of Police Accountability has yet to determine whether the threat posed by the two fleeing people outweighed the possible dangers of a pursuit. It's an issue WGN Investigates has reported on extensively, as the city has paid out nearly $100 million in settlements in the past 5 years.
Just for officer safety and possible attempt vehicle theft. We got a black sedan going eastbound 55 St. Louis, driving erratically.
October 1st, just before 2 a.m., two men in a black Lexus being chased by police blow through a red light, swipe a car, and crash into a building.
Squad, we're about at 38th and West.
Radio traffic indicates the officers were 2 blocks back at the time of the crash. A passenger in the fleeing car died. The driver suffered a leg injury. The driver of the car that was hit was okay. A preliminary police statement said at the time, officers observed 2 individuals believed to be armed entering a black Lexus sedan. As the officers attempted to investigate, the sedan fled at a high rate of speed and officers pursued.
I've been very concerned about police pursuits since I became mayor. The frequency of them, that they cause death, they cause injury, property damage, the whole works.
Former Mayor Lori Lightfoot's administration tightened police vehicle pursuit policies after officers, suspects, and innocent civilians were being injured and killed. The policy directs officers to decide whether the necessity to immediately apprehend the fleeing suspect outweighs the level of inherent danger created by a motor vehicle pursuit. It goes further, listing crimes cops can't chase for, including traffic offenses, DUI, theft, and even possession of a stolen car. Earlier this year, retired Chicago Police Lieutenant John Garrido told us it handcuffs police and emboldens criminals.
I always say, bad guys are generally dumb. But if eventually they keep taking off and realize, hey, nobody's coming after me and they're getting away, it spreads and they eventually figure it out.
Despite policy changes, WGN Investigates found the number of pursuits in Chicago has risen by 50% in the last 3 years. The number of pursuits terminated has only increased slightly, while the number of chases that end in injury has decreased. Police report finding 2 guns at the scene of the October crash in McKinley Park, where officers dragged the driver to safety.
Let's get him away from the car. Bro, we're going to have to move you back farther. I know your legs hurt, but we're going to move you back farther.
Well, this afternoon, police tell us despite finding 2 guns at the scene, the surviving driver has not been charged. The investigation, they say, is ongoing. The officers have not faced discipline. They remain on the job. As our reporting has found, this is not just a safety issue. It's also a financial one. The city has paid out at least $98 million in police pursuit-related settlements in the past 5 years. Lourdes?
Yeah, that lady was pretty as hell, man. Rest in peace to, maybe y'all caught it, but I don't remember them saying if these people, these Americans were male or female. Not that it matters, but I'm just saying I can't say rest in peace to this man or this young man or this young lady because I don't remember them specifying. So, but rest in peace to these people, this human being, this American man. I don't know, that should be making me feel away. I don't know if y'all caught it. These folks, number one, shout out to this media platform, man, for exposing these cowards. They want y'all to know how much money they spending on y'all. I mean, and I'm pretty sure some way federal money is tied into those settlement payouts too. But they definitely want Chicagoans to know what these people doing with y'all damn money while they out there terrorizing your fellow citizens. $98 million, that's no small amount. But other than that, there was a list of things this Mayor Lightfoot, and I think she has her own scandals, but there was a list of things that she said she changed. And one of those things were reasons that police could instigate, engage in high-speed chases, and reasons that they couldn't. And one thing on the list of those reasons that they couldn't were traffic violations. Now, let's go back to that initial radio traffic that we heard. What did that officer say? Do any of you guys remember? There's a vehicle driving erratically. Would that not be a traffic violation? Would that not fall on the list of shit that they cannot be engaged in high-speed chases for? I'm just asking, because I just heard the video. I ain't write none of this shit. I ain't make it up. I ain't responsible for that person being dead. I ain't none of this. Okay, that's what the hell I heard the cops say and what is documented and can be verified. Now, later on in a statement, all of a sudden, they see 2 individuals, and they maybe they did say guys then, so maybe that's where I missed it, but I can't remember, so I'm not going to say. I apologize. But suddenly they see what could be 2 guns. And suddenly they find 2 guns at the scene. And suddenly they ain't charged this man who got in this high-speed ass chase that cost this other American their life. Well, I said man, but this person that cost this other American their life, they ain't charged them with not even the 2 guns they found at the scene. I've been drinking a little Scotch whiskey, and that is so on point, y'all. I wish I could share it with you, but it is not that on point. My ass ain't drunk. I said I've been drinking Scotch whiskey. I ain't say I was drunk. Y'all made that shit up because y'all killed that folk. Let me say man, guys, just in case. Y'all made that shit up because y'all killed that man, fam. Guns? I don't know which one of y'all motherfucking cars or backsack that came out of. Them folks ain't had no damn weapons. Them folks ain't did a damn thing. Now, do I know why they flee from y'all ass? Were y'all in unmarked vehicles? Can we start there? I mean, I don't know. I need to hear the whole damn story. But what y'all done did is, y'all done made some kind of deal with this man, and this was very recently, so y'all done made some kind of deal with this man and say, listen, fam, this what happened. We sorry about your folks, but if you try to make some type noise about it, then what we gonna do, but if you just let it slide, You can go on about your life, we can go on about ours. You can go on about your business, we can go on about ours. That's what the hell happened. Because y'all ain't had no, I mean, the lady had already put the rules in place. Y'all can't be chasing Americans for this shit right here. You got to let them get away, catch them another day. Y'all went on an illegal-ass high-speed chase. You murdered an American. Now you paying them folk to sit out, to get out the way until it's quiet down and they can come on back on the job and get back out there terrorizing Americans. Man, I'm so sick of this shit. And if this wasn't a weekly wrap-up, I would go into more detail about it. That is murder, and they have spent $98 million worth of locals' money, local Americans' money, if not federal Americans' money, to terrorize locals up there in Chicago, and it should make me mad, man. I gotta leave it there because this is the weekly wrap up. Rest in peace to this gentleman or this lady, because once again, I don't remember. Let's see what else going on in America, man.
We begin with a scathing report from the Department of Justice. It found that the Trenton Police Department has a pattern of behaviors that violate people's constitutional rights.
Yeah, that report, the result of a years-long investigation. Action News race and culture reporter Taronda Thomas is following the investigation since the very beginning. She's live outside the Trenton Police Headquarters with the latest today. Taronda.
Well, Brian, this includes looking at things like illegal stops, use of excessive force, and arresting people without a legal basis. Officials with the Department of Justice say it all led to a breakdown of trust with the public.
I'm extremely disappointed, but unfortunately, I'm not surprised.
The president of the Trenton NAACP reacting to a federal investigation into the city's police department, saying what the Department of Justice found is what citizens have been sounding the alarm on for years.
This has been generations of people, of Trentonians, who've been suffering under the hand of police misconduct, unnecessary uses of force, and general intimidation.
The DOJ spent a year conducting what's known as a pattern or practice investigation, looking into whether the Trenton Police Department has a pattern of conduct that violates federal law.
The investigation found a pattern or practice of both excessive force as well as unconstitutional stops, searches, and arrests.
Federal authorities also concluded that Trenton police stopped or arrested people without a legal basis and used aggressive tactics that escalated situations quickly.
Escalatory steps were taken before individuals even had an opportunity to respond to commands.
The mayor of Trenton says the city cooperated with the year-long investigation and adds, quote, the city will continue to work cooperatively with the U.S. DOJ to implement the recommendations highlighted in the report as quickly as possible. Those recommendations include changes to policies, training, and supervision.
And the recommendations are to address each of those to remedy this.
As the issues come to light, residents now look for change.
I'm hoping that this can be a catalyst.
Now, we did reach out to Trenton Police. As of right now, they have not responded to our request for comment. The next step for the Department of Justice is to negotiate with the city to try to put those recommendations into place. If the police department does not comply with those recommendations, there could eventually be a civil lawsuit. We're live in Trenton, New Jersey. Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News. Brian?
Okay, Taronda, thank you.
I'm sorry, man. I gotta fail. I gotta fail their ass, man. Yo, get out here with that bullshit, fam. Yo, man, let me say this, man. Everybody got their journey in life, man. You see what I'm saying? Everybody do, and whether you're one of the people who realize that about yourself, or you'll realize it later, or never realize it, like it's true about all of us. So. For me, it's weird because I always just hear things and look at things and see humans, man. And so when this lady, man, she's standing at her news partner's like, hey, man, this is what's going on. And if this don't happen, it could be, man, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you realize you're talking about people being kidnapped in front of their loved ones, literally thrown in chambers and shit, human chambers, people being beat up, people being stripped of their human rights, and your ass sitting up there talking about it like we waiting for the next episode of Jerry Springer to come on and see who the damn baby daddy is. Nah, bitch, I'm sorry. Like when I was laughing about, yo, I gotta fail him, that's me. Like I want to curse your ass. I'm just being real, y'all. This ain't me just being, oh man, he just, nah, man. You talking about people's lives literally being disrupted and uprooted, man, in the most horrible and heinous ways, and your ass sitting up there talking about it like it's another episode. Your ass should have been as mad as me talking about that shit. But once again, we all got our journeys through life, so for me, that was just very upsetting to hear, fam. Like, and especially how it ended. Y'all lit. I'm talking about, come on, fam. I mean, that story to me, to my ears and to my heart, man, sounded like we ain't left the plantation yet. How they up there treating them folks, man. And this is 2024 America? What the fuck is it? You know what's crazy? I just did an auditing video out of Trenton that was like 8 years old. Did I put that out yet? If I didn't, it'll be a perfect if they come out around the same time. I can't remember. And I was telling y'all, like, that's how they still are. I had no idea that this story was coming up next on the table, on the radar. I know it was just some media coverage, news platform covering the story, but I'm going to keep it real, y'all. I'm not exaggerating when I say that shit was heartbreaking to me, fam. I'm not even going to get into all that, man, but, like, you can't just disrupt human lives like that and then throw it in the air like it's just another news story. Okay, we got that segment out the way. What's next, man? It's people living behind them headlines, man, and dying behind them, too. I mean, like, slow deaths, not like murderous deaths, slow, and even that, too, but I'm just saying, I just don't get the whole disconnection from the humanity of the situations when we're talking about them. And so that's another reason I be going so hard at these cowards and going so hard to tell people, like, know your rights and don't let them feel like they can bully you. Teach your children also to know their rights so they can stand up for themselves. And I don't know, man. I be having like a lot of radical thoughts about how we should guard our humanity. And then I look in the comment section, and to be honest, like, my thoughts aren't even as radical as some of the other Americans who are just fed up with this cop bullshit. And when I say cop bullshit, I'm talking about from the beat cops out here, man, the cop roaches, I call them, the Johnnies, to the American government who empowers and backs them, man. There's no way there should be any segment of the American public that's allowed to be treated like this by sanctioned gang members, man. And our response to it is we're going to take taxpayer energy and finances to put more bullshit in place and then give them an opportunity to decide whether or not they want to respond to it. And if they don't, we're going to employ more taxpayer energy and money into telling them we mad at them about them not getting in line with what they need to be in line. Man, ain't no way in hell, family. But like I said, behind all of that bureaucracy and those media headlines are real American lives, real American families, real American fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, and shit. Fam, that ain't nobody, that's ain't no headline to me, fam. It ain't no picket sign. It ain't no another march. And all of those, it ain't no another speech from no platform, and all those things have their places, family. But if you know, you know. I'm Trailhand Bill, man. Pray God for this time and this place. But we ain't gonna act like it ain't filled with its share of ugliness, too. Welcome to America. That was the weekly wrap-up, man. I am sorry to end on such a solemn note, but if I'm being honest, man, that should be making me very solemn. But praise God, God is God, so in the end, we win. Y'all check out some of the other videos on the channel if you want to. I think I'm about to say that in the outro. Again, this was the weekly wrap-up. I'm Trailhand Bill. Y'all be good. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.